Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm happy you're here today. We're gonna talk about thrifting. Recently, I hit up some of my local thrift stores and secondhand shops, and I wanted to take you along with me and just kind of show you my process for how I go about thrifting and the things I look for, the things that end up coming home with me, and then we'll share haul at the end. So if you're interested in thrifting, or if you just want to find out more about thrifting and how you can create a really beautiful home that looks collected and it doesn't look like the shelf of Target, then let's head to the thrift store and see what we can find. Creating a home that is collected and represents your personal style is something that so many homemakers are interested in, which for me is where thrifting and shopping secondhand plays a big role in my ability to style my home. Some of the areas in the thrift store which tend to produce the best finds for me are the art and floral section. These tend to be items that are often restocked because as people change the style in their homes, I think art and floral decor tend to change with them. That means you can find so many different options secondhand to create your own personal style. Lamps are a great way to change up the look of your home, and lamp lighting is so important when it comes to creating a layered lighting situation for a cozy home. All of the lamps in my home were purchased while thrifting, and floor lamps specifically are always something I search for. The furniture section at the thrift store always seems to have a wide variety of styles and options that can really help make your home feel personal and fit your style. 95% of the furniture in my home is sourced from thrift stores and from Facebook Marketplace, which has really helped me make my home feel unique and curated without the large price tag. Often thrift stores will have sale days or discounted pricing based on the season. Goodwill always has a color of the week that you can save 50% off of the tagged price, and this is a really great way to save money on those big ticket items. Lately, I've been seeing a lot of blue trending in design, and especially in stores like Pottery Barn and other retail spaces. So it's always nice to have an idea of the color that you want to use when you're decorating before you head into the thrift store. I think these beautiful blue ice cream cups would make an adorable setting for a summer party and would look elegant to bring a pop of color to a china hutch. As we approach spring and summer, these classic blue and white pieces would really help to elevate a tablescape and bring a pop of summer flair into your home. When you're thrifting, there are a lot of items to sift through. So often I'll make a day of it and really take my time to find the items that would make the biggest impact in my space. Layered lighting is something I mentioned earlier, but it's a great way to create lighting zones in your home for a welcoming, cozy feel. And unique textiles like pillows, throw blankets, and quilts can all help to create that personal style which represents you and creates a home that is unique and collected. Okay, so we're back and I am so excited to share with you a few of the items that I decided to take home with me. Now, you guys, when I go thrifting, I kind of have a running list always in the back of my mind because I'm pretty set on the things that I need in my home. And so this time around, I was looking for items that brought in that sort of warm, cozy winter feel. I was looking for wovens, I was looking for neutrals. But I also was looking ahead and I wanted to think a little bit about spring. So I was looking for either houseplants or florals, something that would help me sort of refresh and revamp my space as we approach spring. So I have a great haul I'm excited to share with you. And you guys, leave me a comment below if you would like to get a video dedicated just to thrifting tips, because I know I threw in a few while we were shopping in store, but I've got so many ideas that I'd love to share with you. I just don't want to make a video if that's not something that you would like to hear about. So leave me a comment below, let me know if that's something you're interested in, and let's get started with the haul. So a lot of you guys follow me on Instagram, and you may have already seen that I found the most beautiful wreath at Goodwill. Now, when I purchased this, it was $4.98. I thought this was really a beautiful piece that was great for the winter. It was nice and neutral, and it brought in a lot of texture. Now, I really love the texture on these, I guess, barley or wheat. I'm not exactly sure what the floral is, but it definitely has a real feel touch. So for $4.98, I decided that I wanted to place this on my sliding door. I have a 9-panel window door that leads us into the laundry room, and I love how it looks on the door. It brings in a lot of texture and a lot of softness, but it's also keeping well with that neutral winter theme that I wanted to sort of play off of for the winter season. So talking about bringing in texture and cozy tones, I found a great lamp. Now, this one is a really beautiful woven lamp. It's got the woven shade as well. I love this brown color. I think this will go great for the summer. I love the idea of bringing in dark wovens for the summer. I think they play really nicely in that Caribbean vibe and almost that tropical look, but I'm going to be working this in somehow in my home, even for the winter season. I'm not exactly sure where it's gonna go, but I purchased this for $6.98, and originally, I was thinking that I just wanted the shade. I love some of the woven shades that I've seen at Lamps Plus and some of the online retailers. They have this really beautiful brown coloring, but the more I looked at this base, the more it grew on me. And so I'm not sure if I'm going to be keeping the wovens together. I may end up replacing the base with more of a rounded, maybe ceramic white, something that will brighten it up. You guys will have to leave me a comment below and let me know what you think. Should I separate this and make 2 lamps out of this and be on the hunt for a better base, or do you like it just as is? Now, it just so happens that there was a lot of items that kind of caught my eye that really brought my mind to spring and summer, and this little handbag was one of them. I thought that the woven texture was really adorable. I love this sort of open weave. I think this breathable look is light and airy, and it works well for spring and definitely for summer. This actually looks like a bag that I might bring to the beach. This one was $3.98, and I really did also love this. I think it's faux leather. I don't think this leather is real, but I loved the texturing on this handle as well. I thought this was super pretty. So not a bad find for $3.98. Now, I think I'm going to be bringing back my peg shelf. You guys can see back here to the side of the room, I've got that beautiful winter watercolor, and I'm going to be keeping that up for just probably a few more weeks until I'm ready to transition into maybe a Valentine's look or even an early spring decor. But when that spring decor, and especially when the summer decor comes out, I think I'm gonna bring back my peg shelf. So some of you guys are new and you may not know that I used to have a really pretty white scalloped edge peg shelf, and I love decorating it. It's so much fun to be able to hang things from the pegs and decorate the top. But I think this would be absolutely stunning hanging from one of the pegs with maybe some beautiful greenery hanging out or a really pretty colored floral. That would be a great accent for the pegs. So that's what I'm planning unless I find a better use for it. But for $3.98, it actually wouldn't make a bad handbag either. So just a minute ago, we were talking about adding in some greenery into that really cute handbag. And I saw recently Target in their spring line, they came out with some of the most beautiful green houseplants, and I really love the idea of bringing in some of that greenery even late in the winter before spring arrives, just to sort of liven up the house and bring in that fresh feel. And so I came across this at Goodwill, and I thought this was a really beautiful way to bring in some of those natural vibes. This one was $2.98. Now this originally was purchased at IKEA, I can tell from the tag. I thought these beautiful greenery leaves were so pretty and so perfect to bring in just a touch of life for the winter season and into spring. And I think it would be really cute to pop into something like this, to be able to hang from a shelf, a peg shelf, just to sort of enhance that summer vibe. So I'm really looking forward to pairing these two together. But I also found a really beautiful vessel that I think I may end up trying to use as well. So on Target's website, they have this really beautiful terracotta vase. It's a single handle vase. It almost looks like a jug, and it has that really classic terracotta look to it. And so I think that's maybe going to be a trending look, a trending color. And so when I came across this at Goodwill, I thought this was a really good find. This one was $4.98, and I loved that it had that texture already in. Now I'm not exactly sure about the color. I may end up toning it down a little bit because to my eye, it looks a little bit pink, so I'm not really in love with that. I'm gonna let it grow on me a little bit and see what I think, but I thought this was a really beautiful dupe for some of the stuff that I'm seeing online in the new spring lines. And so this one actually would even look good to have this little pot popped inside and maybe on a shelf for some fullness in your shelf styling. I think this would be a really great way to accent even a mantle. I'm thinking I may end up putting this over on my 9 drawer in front of that mirror. Now, speaking of the new spring line at Target, I watch two YouTubers that I love to see. I don't know if you guys know who Katie Vining is, but she does a lot of shop with me's, and Target is one of the places where she will go through all of the items in store. And I saw her show this really beautiful gold bowl, and I will pop a picture here on the screen for you to see what I'm talking about if you haven't seen it yet. But her and also another YouTuber that I watch faithfully, Cass and Home, both said that this item it felt a little bit flimsy for the price. It didn't feel like it had the weight that it should. Although it was very pretty, I didn't want to spend my money on it. And I thought it was a little bit too large because I was thinking I may want to put it on my coffee table, but my husband made my coffee table and it's a little smaller than a standard. And so some of those bigger bowls kind of take up too much space. And so when I was thrifting, I was in the kitchen section and I came across this. Now, hear me out. I think this makes tortilla bowls. I think that's what it's for. But I plan to use this for a DIY and spray paint this either with a copper spray paint. I know they have a really great spray paint line in the Krylon brand that has like that hammered metallic texture. So I think I may try to recreate the one from the Target website using this. It does have the same lines and the same structure, but this one was only $2.98. And honestly, it's a little bit smaller, so I think it'll work better on my coffee table as well. I have a love-hate relationship with Target. Target sells a lot of things that I really, really enjoy using, but sometimes the prices are just a little bit too high. And so anytime I can find items at Goodwill or other thrift shops in my area that actually have that Target line, especially the Hearth and Hand line, I snag them up. And I came across this, I wanna say this was last year's item from Hearth and Hand, and I came across this one was $2.98 at Goodwill. I think this would be so cute in my China hutch. I love to sort of layer my ceramics, and so this one might look cute in front of like that big white pitcher. If you follow me for a while, you know I have this really beautiful white ironstone pitcher, so I think this would be a pretty contrast to set in front of that. But even by itself with just a single bud inside, I think that would be really pretty. So for $2.98, I know I'll find a place for it. I could not bring myself to spend the full price last year when it was new, but I am happy to find it at Goodwill. Now, something that I like to try to do as we move from spring into summer is move away from that saturated, heavy, romantic look and sort of move into a little bit more of a easy, clean, fresh, and light feel for the summer. And one of the ways I really like to try to do that is by using glass, especially when it comes to vessels for my florals. And so I picked up this glass vessel. It's just a small vase. This would look great with some faux stems inside. I liked this curved look of it, and I also liked the fact that it had a little bit of a smaller mouth, and so you don't have to buy so many stems in order to make a full arrangement. This one was $1.98, and I think this would be really pretty with any sort of shelf styling. You could use this in the kitchen, on your mantle. This thing could go anywhere. But I do have a tip for you. If you are going to use a glass vessel with faux stems, still fill it up with water. It gives a little bit more of a natural look and makes it look a little bit more realistic. So I'm excited to see how I'll be working in this find into my spring to summer decorating. So I do know a lot of you guys follow me on Instagram, so you may already have seen this, but I came across the most beautiful canister set at Goodwill. The large one was $4.98, and it did have a medium matching canister for $2.98. And then it even had this little baby one. So I thought these were really sweet. They had a little bit of scuffing on them, but you know, you just turn that around. This little one was $1.98, and I did end up styling this one over in my coffee bar, well, in my microwave area. And I love the way it turned out. It brought in a lot of that rich, warm texture and tone. This hammered detail is just so pretty, and I love the touches of black because I do use a lot of black accents in the winter, so I thought this was a really great find. Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. We are talking about thrifting vintage. I found some great items recently for a makeover that I've got coming up in the future, and I would love to share my finds with you. If you love home decorating, thrifting, and saving money, you are in the right place. Be sure and hit that subscribe button and keep on watching. Hey guys, it's Jen. Welcome back to the channel. I'm happy you're here today. We are in my spare bedroom, and this room is a blank slate. I've been thrifting for a while for items that I want to use in the makeover that I have planning for mid-summer, and I wanted to share with you the items that I have found. Some of these are vintage, some of these are new, but I'm very excited to be able to see how many of them I'll be able to use in this room makeover. So this bed frame actually kicked off the entire room makeover idea that I've got in mind for the space and how I want it to turn out. My husband was gifted this beautiful antique bed frame, 100% free. It came with the mattress, and I just love this bed frame. I've always wanted a cast iron bed frame, and I love the look of having this vintage metal frame with old or vintage dark brown furniture and just sort of have an old world style going on in the spare bedroom. I think it's cozy and beautiful, and it's also such a great way to incorporate my thrifted finds. So oftentimes I'll get the question like, how do you find the items that you actually want to use? And to be honest with you, I could create an entire video on just how to do thrifting, but I think that if you head into the thrift store with a style in mind and you go often, eventually those items will surface. So one of the things that I wanted to bring in was some needlepoint, and these antique vintage style needle points are absolutely gorgeous. I found two of these. The price tag says that they were $2.99, but on the day that I picked these up at my Jericho Road thrift store, these items, actually the entire store was 50% off. So I got both of these for $2.99, but I really think these are absolutely stunning and I love the oval shape. I think oval is a very vintage look. Nowadays, most of the wall hangings that we find are rectangular or square. They're hard lines and hard 90-degree angles. And so I love the style of ovals for a vintage look. And one of the things that I've learned over the years is that if you can try to find something that you can incorporate multiple times throughout the room, it definitely looks more intentional. And so once I found these, I decided to set my mind on finding more items that were oval shaped that would sort of tie into the vintage look of these. So when we're thinking about like an oval shape, I wanted to bring in this find as well. Now I picked this up for $1.99 at a thrift store. The tag is not on it anymore. The back is felt, which is why the tag fell off. But I just love the detailing. Take a look at the vintage styling. I love that filigree look. And I think this is actual brass, so I think it's pretty old, but even if it isn't, it does give that vintage old world style that I'm looking for. Oval shaped items that sort of look vintage. And some more items that I picked up that were oval shaped is this absolutely gorgeous tray. It is a mirrored tray, and I'm trying to avoid getting my fan up there, but take a look at this. Now I'll insert some clips, but how gorgeous this brass detailing is. So this is an oval shape as well. It has a felt backing again, so it'll definitely protect any vintage furniture that I bring in. This was $8.50. I actually picked this up at an estate sale, if I remember correctly. I picked this up along with some copper pieces that I'll be sharing with you guys in my fall kitchen video. Now, one thing that I always have to do when I'm thrifting is keep an open mind and try to think about ways that I can use items that I find in functional ways, but that also sort of enhance the look that I'm going for. And so I picked this up at Jericho Road. This was marked at $4.99. It was on the half price day. We're working with this oval detailing here, but I thought maybe this would be a fun robe hanger because it does have the hooks on the side here. So I'm not completely sure if this is going in the makeover here in the spare room. But I really do love this piece, and I thought that because it was oval, it sort of looked vintage, it was a great price. If I don't use it in here, I can definitely find other places to use this item throughout the house. Okay guys, so my question to you is, what do you consider vintage? I have heard that anything between 30 and 50 years old would be considered vintage, and then anything above 50 years old would be considered antique. But I've also read that the numbers are actually higher, and vintage would be from maybe 50 to 80 years old, and then anything above 80 years old would be antique. So leave me a comment below. I'd be interested to know your thoughts about that. And the reason I ask is because I did find these oval candle sconces, and these look very 80s inspired to me, maybe 70s. I think these are gorgeous. I love the rich wood tone of these and the black detailing. One of the things that I love about them is that they're small, and so I would be able to maybe put these on the sides of a beautiful picture and place some candlesticks in them and just sort of use that to illuminate the picture. But I just love having these as an option for decorating, especially because they are going to bring in that oval shape that I've been going for. So I don't actually have any more oval shaped items to share with you. And you guys keep in mind, this is a months long thrifting collective haul. So I don't find all of these items all in one day. Okay, now we're gonna move on to some decorative items that I picked up. One of the items that I love to find when I'm thrifting is copper. And take a look at this copper candlestick holder. I think this is absolutely gorgeous. I love the hammer detail on the inside here. And this was only $2, and I thought that was such a great deal. I love being able to place these on a stack of books or maybe on some shelves to sort of corral 3 items together and make a little vignette. I think this is so pretty, and definitely going to try to work this into the bedroom makeover. Now, these are really heavy. These are not antique, not vintage. The tag says made in China, but they are cast iron. They're super heavy, and these are, I believe, door stops. There was 2 of them, and they were $4.98 each, and I did pay full price for these. I don't plan on using these as door stops, but I think these would be absolutely gorgeous as bookends. I think I want to maybe use some rub and buff on these and make them look a little bit more like a copper or brass, antique gold even, something that would just enhance the floral design here. I think this is very cottage with this basket of florals, and I think this would be a really cute addition. And when you place them together, they would be adorable as bookends. Now, another thing I'm always on the lookout for is pottery. anything that is hand thrown, I absolutely love. And so when I came across this little pottery piece, and it even has a date on the bottom from 1989, I thought that was so cute. But this pottery piece is absolutely gorgeous. I love the brown. It's definitely a neutral piece, very small. This could be used as a bud vase, which is probably how I'm going to use it. It was $2.98. And I just love the simplicity of it, and I thought this was a very vintage looking piece that would go great for shelf styling or maybe beside some books, but this was definitely a good find. Okay guys, so let's talk about ducks. This is a duck decoy. It's wood and it's a little bit heavy, so it's probably not an actual decoy because I know they usually make them pretty light so that they would float, but look at the detailing on it. It's absolutely beautiful. And one of the things that I think is so fun is to incorporate items from different styles. I think this would be more of maybe like an English cottage look, definitely vintage looking. And I know that a couple of the favorite channels that I follow on YouTube, I know for sure Andrea over at Pine and Prospect Home, she definitely decorates with duck decoys, and I think they're so sweet. So I picked this one up at Goodwill, and I want to say it was $9.98, which again, a little bit more expensive than I normally would pay, but for an item that's as unique as this, you never come across these in the thrift stores. And I think they're highly sought after. And so when I saw it, I grabbed it and I stuck it into my cart because I knew I wanted to take it home with me. Now, something else I really love is hobnail. I love anything that's hobnail and looks stoneware. I picked this up for $2.98 at Goodwill, and I believe that these are originally Hearth and Hand, because I do have a napkin holder that has the same style of hobnail. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep the wood base, but I definitely love the look of these salt and pepper shakers, and I think they're gonna go great in my kitchen. All right guys, so let's keep moving along. I found a few more items that I wanted to share with you. Now you guys, I've been looking for one of these for a long time. I have wanted a gathering basket for so long. Recently I saw, I think her name is Brenda over at Cozyaholic. She picked one up and I just fell in love with it again. It reminded me that I wanted one. And so when I came across this one at Goodwill, I thought it was absolutely perfect. I love the little pedestal on the bottom. I think that's so cute. And the woven texture, the beautiful rich color of the wood. This was $3.98. I mean, what a steal. So love this little gathering basket. I cannot wait to find ways to use this all throughout my house. So I wanna show you guys a few more pillows that I picked up at Jericho Road. This one, both of these were also 50 cents, and look at the tassels on these. I think this is a very vintage style. I love this velvet texture. The color is absolutely gorgeous. It's coming off a little bit more gold than it actually is. It's actually a little bit more of like a dark taupe or maybe even a light brown. It's really, really pretty. The other side I don't love as much. It's got sort of like an elaborate pattern here, but even if I don't like this side, I can just flip this around and use this as an accent pillow. It's a lumbar shape, so it can definitely be used by itself in the center of the bed, or if I wanted to, I could combine the two that I picked up and use them as a little bit more of a lengthy accent on the top of the bed. Okay, so you guys can't go wrong when it comes to thrifting vintage books. I love the color of this, and I love that it has 1907 written on the front of it. I thought that was kind of neat. The subject matter really doesn't matter. What kind of book you find is really not important. What's important is that you find one that fits your color scheme. I love the look of the spine and I love the details on it. The color is absolutely gorgeous. This would be great for just neutral all year round. I think it would be great for fall as well. And for $3.98, that's the standard hardcover book price at Goodwill. This is a great accent piece. Now, I've also been on the lookout for marble. That is something that's trending right now, and although it doesn't always fit into my home's aesthetic, I love the look of a warm caramel toned marble. Now this is a box, it's maybe a jewelry box or something like that. From the top you can see this is an absolutely beautiful piece. It was $2.98 and it is marble, so it's nice and heavy. This is something I'm gonna try to work into the room makeover, but I'm not actually sure if it'll work its way into the design. Okay guys, so I came across this beautiful vintage highboy dresser at my thrift shop. I picked it up for $40. I think it was 100% worth $40. The drawers are absolutely dovetailed, so I know it's a high quality piece. I love the clean lines on it, but one of the things that sold me was the handles. The drawer pulls almost look like the bottoms of a rocking horse. I'm not sure if that looks like that to you, but when I saw them, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so unique. So I love these drawer pulls. The problem is that down here on the second drawer, you can see one of the poles is hanging by a thread and the other one is missing. So I think what I'm gonna have to do is take the top 2 drawer pulls off and use them down at that second drawer, and then see if I can find a matching hardware piece that's maybe round or just something that's simple that looks a little bit more intentional to replace onto the top 2 drawers. But isn't this piece stunning? I absolutely love it. I love finding pieces like this. You can tell it's high quality. It does have some wear. You can see that it's got some paint markings and some things that need to be cleaned up. But overall, I think this is a gorgeous piece, and I love the way this is going to add to that vintage look that I'm going for here with the iron bed frame. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot to show you one of my most favorite items that I thrifted. A while back, I had traveled for work, and when I traveled to this particular place, my sister lives there and I often stay with her, but many times when I get there, I'm early, they're still at work, and I like to find places that are not around my house that I can thrift and find unique items that maybe I would not have found otherwise. So I came across this beautiful art piece. The tag is marked $25, but the entire store was getting ready to shut down. I was 3 days before their closing. So she had the entire store marked down at 50%. I paid $12.50 for this piece of art. I cannot believe it. I think it's beautiful. I love the impressionistic look of the painting. I don't know if this is actually worth anything. The signature says Camille, and so I don't know if that's something that I even should look into. I'm not even sure how to find out about art and whether or not it's something that's worth anything, but for $12.50, I love the colors. So guys, that's going to do it for the thrift haul today. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have any thoughts about how I can find out more about that art piece, let me know in the comments below. Maybe there's a specific search term I should be using. I'm really interested to find out if that is something that's valuable. Either way, it's valuable to me. I think it's gorgeous. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you won't miss any of the future videos we've got coming your way. Thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I am always happy to see you and spend time with you. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye. Hi guys, today I'm sharing a few of my thrifting tips. I have a little bit of a different take than most when it comes to thrifting, so I want to jump into my first tip, which is to shop by texture rather than just browsing. When I shop by texture, I tend to do a little bit better at the thrift store because I'm not focused on all of the other items and colors, and so it really helps me to avoid that feeling of being overwhelmed and not knowing where to start. And so I'm just kind of showing you what I mean by shopping by texture, looking at baskets, woven features, just items that can bring in that warm, cozy, textural feel. Baskets are great because they're good for storage as well, but whenever I'm on the lookout for items that are textural, I do tend to overlook other items in store, and so that really does help me to kind of stay on track and not get overwhelmed. Now I know this one is not a textural element, but every time I see this clip, I am so regretful that I did not pick up this adorable rolling storage cart. This would be great for crafts or even in the kitchen for spices and dry goods. So my second tip is pick it up when you see it. So my next tip is to thrift by function. Make a list of items that you need. For example, I'm showcasing some candles here because I always love to add seasonal scents to my home, and thrifting is a great way to find brand new candles at a fraction of the price. And so if there are items on your I need it list, make sure you hit up the thrift store first. I definitely don't need this Honey Nut Cheerios candle, but I wanted to share it with you because I thought it was such a fun and funny little candle for a kid's room. The next tip is to thrift early and often. You'll need to get to the thrift store early if you want to find the best deals. Oftentimes, there are vendors who hit up the thrift stores early in the morning to find items that they can resell. So be early and go often. My next tip, if you're feeling overwhelmed in the thrift store, is to thrift by color. Sometimes when you zone in on just one specific color, it makes the aisles not seem so overwhelming, and you can glance by everything and sort of tune your mind in to those beautiful colors that you want to decorate with. And lastly, I encourage you to try to thrift by room. If you know you need dishes, head over to the kitchen section. If you know you need textiles, then you're gonna wanna go over to the quilts and pillowcases. Thrift by the room in which you need items for, and you will feel a lot less overwhelmed when you're shopping. And because items are so low priced at the thrift store, you can shop the items that you need by season. How adorable would these yellow floral glasses be for the spring season? Okay guys, we are back from thrifting, and I wanted to give you a little bit of an insight into how I style a lot of the thrifted items that I find. Recently, I had asked if you guys were interested in getting some thrifting tips, and so everybody seemed like they were on board with that. So I just wanted to take you through some of these items and then kind of show you how I have them styled in my home. So the first one I want to share with you is this little vase. Now, when I picked this up at Goodwill, it was $3.98, and I have had this one for quite a while, but I wanted to share it with you because recently I showed you that I picked this one up also at Goodwill for $2.98, and I thought they were paired perfectly together for my little stool that's beside my china cabinet. So I've got it styled there, and I think it just brings a little bit of visual interest to that space where there's not really enough room for another piece of furniture. Large art wouldn't fit on the wall, and so I just needed something to kind of brighten up that space and make it feel a little bit more alive. The texturing on this vase is gorgeous, and I thought it was really beautiful. But here's the thing, it didn't look like this when I picked it up in store. It actually had a tall, round, sort of 90s looking topiary fake plant in it, and I really didn't like that. I really just bought it because I liked the vessel that the plant was in. So when I got it home, I just took the topiary out, and now I have this beautiful vase for $3. Now, another item that I had shared with you recently was a handbag that I picked up at Goodwill recently, and I thought it was so cute for the summer season. I ended up placing some florals in it that I already had, and I thought this was a really nice way to bridge the gap from spring into summer. This to me reads very summer. I love that sort of seagrass weaving, and I wanted to bring in some of these natural neutral greens and a couple of pops of white, and I've got this styled on my barn door. We're going to be doing a little project on that barn door because I don't love being able to see into my laundry room, but for now this is substantial and large enough that it sort of blocks the view into the laundry room, and it gives me a lot of texture and interest, and also a little bit of natural earthy elements. I've got so many good items I want to share with you, but recently I shared with you a really pretty frame that I picked up at Goodwill. I actually used this in my Valentine's decorating, but I never mentioned to you that you can find beautiful frames at Goodwill for $1.98, for $2.98. I mean, this one I believe was originally probably TJ Maxx or Marshalls or Home Goods, but I loved this sort of curved shape. I thought it had a lot of interest, and I loved the gold on it. In fact, the gold is something that I want to use a little bit more for the spring and summer this year. And so the next item I wanted to share with you is something that you guys have seen in a recent thrift haul. You saw me pick this one up. But you guys, I finally did my DIY on it, and it turned out beautifully. I absolutely love it. If you didn't see that video, I had mentioned that a couple of the YouTubers that I really like to watch had purchased the large bowl like this from Target. It's from maybe the Threshold line this year. I think it runs at $25, and it's quite a bit bigger, and it looks just like this as far as the coloring, but both of the ladies that I watched said that it was very flimsy. And so I saw a tortilla bowl making pan in Goodwill, and I picked it up. I showed it to you in a recent thrift haul, and here is the final product. I love the way it turned out, but I'll show you the side that is really pretty. And I also wanted to share with you how I styled it. This is actually one of my favorite DIYs that I've done, and I ended up picking this thing up for $2.98 at Goodwill, and then the paint I already had. So rather than spend $25 at Target, I have a little bit of a Target inspired look for a fraction of the cost. Now, something I'm always looking for at Goodwill especially is marble. Travertine, marble, any sort of natural stone like that is going to be timeless. And I have a few items like that I've picked up that I really do enjoy using. And so when I came across this little marble mortar and pestle at Goodwill, I think it was $2.98. I've already taken the tags off, but I will insert a few clips before I did that. This one is cute. It's little. I don't have any black marble in my house, so I think this would be a great way to sort of bring in a little bit of depth to some of my white kitchen decor. And the fact that it's marble is something that I'm going to be able to use year after year, and for such a low price, I couldn't pass it up. So I've got this styled in my kitchen now, and I'm really enjoying how it looks. Something else I'm always trying to bring into my kitchen is warm woods. Woods that maybe look like they have been found or are old and damaged and distressed. I love the look of aged wood. So when I came across this trivet, I thought it was really pretty because it's got the greens that I am loving for this coming season. Green is actually my favorite color, and so when it's paired with brown and taupe like this, I think it's gorgeous. Love the coloring of the wood and the distressing, and I thought it was really cute because it does have legs on it, so it could be used as a trivet, as a riser, or you could even just lean this up against the wall and use it as wall art to sort of warm up a space behind a display that you've got on your countertop. So this is something that I feel like I'll be able to use year round because it's neutral enough, but also especially going into the summer, I like the idea of pairing it with my cookbook that I've shared with you in the past. I think that would be a gorgeous pairing. So another thing I've recently been drawn to is seagrass, especially that light color, almost like that coastal summer feel. I don't have much of that in my house, but in this haul, you see that I've got that handbag. And then when I came across this flat rectangular tray, I thought this would be beautiful to use in the kitchen. I got this at my local Jericho Road thrift store. I want to say it was $4.99, but I will insert a clip to show you the price. But right now I have this styled on my microwave with a piece of pottery that I actually picked up recently at an antique shop near me, some pretty white cosmos for the floral, and then this thrifted candle that I also picked up while I was thrifting at Jericho Road, actually on this same day. This one was brand new when I picked it up. I love the smell of it, but look at that opalescent coloring to it. Almost has that mother of pearl look. Beautiful for the summer, almost like a seashell. I guess I'm going a little bit coastal this year, guys. I didn't expect that, but that's what I'm kind of feeling from all of these items. But I love the way this looks paired together with my florals and this wicker tray. Now, something I want to show you though, in recent thrift haul, I showed you this glass one. And I had mentioned that I wanted to also style this for my summer decor. This would be great for spring with these tulips. So I just wanted to share that with you and kind of show you how I have this styled as well. The fun thing about this is that it can be used on this wicker tray also. These are all interchangeable items, right? So when you're looking at decor for your home, you want to try to find items that mesh well together. That way, when you change things around, it doesn't sort of jar the eye. Everything blends, everything's cohesive, and everything gives a nice, warm, welcoming feel. And so because I'm trying to accomplish that in my home this season with buying a little bit more neutral decor, year-round items that I can use everywhere in my home, when I saw this at Goodwill, I decided to grab this. This I think was originally a Hobby Lobby purchase. I grabbed it for $6.98. This thing has some weight to it. Now I haven't decided where I'm going to be styling this one yet, but I think it would be beautiful with some simple florals, maybe even these tulips behind me. I think that would look really great. So you can see with the tulips in it, I love the way this pop of green sort of is a contrast to this beautiful neutral. And then of course this sort of buttery yellowish white tulip color is a really great complement to the color of the vase. Something like this would be perfect behind a sofa, especially if you have like a narrow table, because it is so thin. And so it would be a perfect addition to a sofa table or maybe a small space in your home as well. The next few items don't really jive with this coastal thing that I am sort of realizing that I'm going with this year, but I think they were gorgeous and they were a great price. And when I saw them, I just couldn't pass them up. And sometimes items just speak to you. And so I came across a set of 4. These are made by the Ascot line by Wood and Sons, and they are made in England. The tag says that they were $4.98, but on the day that I picked these up, all of the blue tags were 50% off, so I got 2 of them for that price. I did find a set of 4, and 2 of them even had wall hangers on them, so I thought that was a great deal. I'm probably gonna end up styling these in my china cabinet. I love this green band on the inside. I think that's going to be really, really pretty with the color scheme that I'm going for. And just because it's not coastal, that's totally fine. It's a cottage look, and there is such a thing as coastal cottage, but there's also such a thing as having an eclectic look in your home. So if you really, really like it, just use it. Don't worry about whether or not it blends with what some designer says you have to use. If you like it, use it. Okay, we're quickly coming to the end of the haul. I've got 2 more items I wanted to share with you, and this is one of them. I've been on the lookout for one of these for quite some time. I saw this on the Meeker Home and DIY channel. Meg had one of these in her son's bedroom decor, and I thought that was so sweet. It is a ringing bell, and it was $4.98, but it's brass, it's heavy. I'm probably gonna remove those ribbons on it, but I just thought that was so cute. And not only would it be great for just shelf styling to bring in a little bit of warmth with this sort of warm metallic brass, but I think it would be great in a kid's room. So if you see items like this with a carousel horse or any sort of equestrian theme even, I think that would be a really great way to accent youthful bedrooms if you are trying to style a kid's room. For me, this is probably going to be shelf styling either on my microwave area. I've got some neutral shelves over there, or maybe even mantle styling, but this would be great for Christmas as well. So lots of different ways you can use little items like this. Now this last item I picked up with the intention of doing a DIY on it, although I do think it is pretty as is. This is a vase that I picked up at Goodwill. This giant planter was only $6.98. And although I do think it's gorgeous, the colors just don't fit my home. So I'm probably going to end up using a texture technique, using some of the wall compound or putty, whatever that you've probably seen those DIYs where people sort of create their own texture on it and then give it sort of like a speckled or kind of muted taupe color paint on top. But I thought this would be great because I have an olive tree that I have upstairs in my spare bedroom, and I've had it for years, but I have not been able to find the right sort of planter for it to make it look good. So it's just kind of been living up there in its original black plastic pot. And I think that once I get this DIY done, it would be really pretty to have this on the floor, maybe next to my mantle or over here next to my china cabinet, and have that olive tree placed inside just to give it a little bit more of a substantial feel. The base of that olive tree is really small. So the tree is really large on top, and then the base is like this big around, so it's always tumbling over. So I thought this might be a way for me to give it a little bit more of a decorative look and make it look a little bit more high-end, but doing it on a budget, which you guys know I love. So I have another item that's not really going to work, I don't think anyway, for the summer and spring season because it does have this really warm tone to it. But I picked up this recipe box at Goodwill, and this one was $2.98. The tag on the bottom says that it was made in Korea, and it does say that it's solid copper. This thing is pretty heavy, so I thought this was a really great deal. I actually have been on the lookout for a recipe box because I've got a book that I have all of my handwritten recipes in, and I would like to transfer them to index cards and be able to have them out on the counter. I thought this was a great item for $2.98 to bring in some warm metallics into my kitchen. I'm going to try to work this in for the summer, maybe transitioning into that early fall season. I think that would be really beautiful, but you never know what you're gonna find when you go thrifting, and that's why I love it so much. I can spend all day at the thrift store just sort of hunting and digging and finding treasures, and this is definitely one of them that's gonna stick with me for a very long time. So that's it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed seeing some of the items that I look for when I'm in store, and if you enjoyed seeing videos like this where I share with you my items, but then I also kind of show you how I styled them, leave me a comment below below because I really enjoyed putting this video together and getting creative with all of the different pieces that I thrifted, and I would love to do more of these. So I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Until then, take care, and I will see you then. Bye-bye. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm happy you're here today. I have been on the hunt for some neutral summer decor, and today I thought it would be fun to take you along with me thrifting so that you can see some of the items that I look for when we are approaching a season change. Now I know it's still kind of early, we're still in spring, and a lot of you aren't quite ready to start thinking about summer yet, but I really like to get a jump on things so that I can start planning out the colors and the themes that I want to use for the upcoming season. So let's head to some thrift stores and see what we can find. So on this thrifting trip, I am specifically looking for items that are neutral, items that will work for the summer season, but also for late spring. I'm looking for warm metals like this brass piece, as well as any sort of items that will carry me through the summer season. Baskets are always a really great item to search for when you're thrifting. There are so many different styles that you can find, and different looks can really change up your home throughout the season. I love this handled basket as well as this brown pot, and I thought this little tripod candle holder was pretty interesting as well. I know a lot of you guys are a fan of the blue and white, and so I thought it would be fun to take a look at this Liberty blue plate. And you guys, this bell was massive. It was brass. It was only $12.99, and I really did consider buying it, but I just wasn't sure where I would put it. And then they had another little egg holder. These are always really cute in the spring and summer seasons, especially if you like a cottage or farmhouse look in your home. I am on the hunt for a new side table, and I thought this one was pretty interesting. I like the legs on it, and I'm pretty sure my mom had this one in the 1980s, but there was something about it that I was kind of drawn to. I was considering it. There are so many options at the thrift store, especially at my local Jericho Road store, and once a month, they'll put the entire store on 50% off, and that is when you find some great deals. I thought this hutch was really beautiful. I love the clean lines on it. I thought it would be really beautiful if it was painted black. Lamps are a great item to look for at the thrift store, especially if you like that vintage look. Now, because I'm looking for summer items, I also want to try to find items for outside. So I thought I'd take a look at some of these outdoor benches. This white one was really pretty. They had a couple of different looks and options for outdoor dining. And I especially liked this one here on the end of this section with the wicker chairs. It had a really beautiful wicker and black tone to it. Pillows for as far as the eye could see. I was kind of impressed. They had them all sort of arranged by color. And this one caught my eye. I liked the neutral coloring on it. I have plenty of pillows though. Storing them is a real beast. But I thought they were a little bit too gray for my home anyway. I like the taupe color on the back. I decided not to take them home. It's always so much fun to see what items people have collected and decided to donate. This collection of teapot houses were so cute. And I did have a couple of finds that I want to share with you, but before we do that, I'd like to send a special thank you to today's video sponsor, VELLABOX. You guys know I am a big fan of VELLABOX. Their monthly candle subscription is one of the favorite things that arrives in my mail once a month. This month it is Blossom Festival. This is a light and fragrant candle. The neat thing about VELLABOX is that all of their monthly subscriptions come also with a free gift, and each candle is beautifully packaged in a fabric pull tie bag and a secret free gift that comes with every subscription. I do have a discount code for you, so if you are interested in starting your own VELLABOX candle subscription, go ahead and use the discount code goodehome50 for 50% off of your first shipment. All right, guys, that was an awesome thrift trip, and I did find some amazing items. I actually have to be honest with you and let you know that the clips that you saw were filmed over a few days. This was not all filmed in one day because sometimes it does take a little bit of time to curate items, especially if you're looking for a certain color scheme or a certain theme, and that's exactly what I've been doing lately. I've been on the hunt for neutral items that can be used throughout the year, but I really do want to tone down some of the color for summer, and so I think I'm gonna head in that direction as I make the swap for early summer decorating this year. So I wanna start with an item that I picked up at Goodwill. This is an item that I found at a Goodwill that's not local to me, actually. I was about an hour or so south of me, and this is just a checker set, or chess set, I guess. It came with all of the pieces inside. I'm not a good chess player. My son is a very good chess player. He tried to teach me a few times, but I can't remember how to play. But it's definitely workable if that's something that you enjoy. But what I wanted was these beautiful colors and patterns. Look at the wood tone. For $2.99, I thought this would be a beautiful accent for maybe shelf styling, or I think I'm going to end up putting it over on the side table beside the couch. I love the wood tones and the creams, and it's exactly the look I'm going for late spring, early summer, so I thought this was a really good find. Now I want to talk a little bit about baskets because I am a sucker for baskets when it comes to thrifting. I feel like every time I go to the thrift store, I always come out with a basket, at least one, but sometimes more than one. But I went to a place called Red, White, and Blue Thrift. I actually heard about this place from watching Carrie Lynn's channel. This is a thrift store that is in Tampa. It's huge. I know she made the trek down to that store recently, and for me it's only about a 45 to 50 minute drive, so I thought it would be worth it. And I did find a few great items, including this basket right here. I love the look of this basket. I love that it's so open and airy. The color of the wood or the wicker is really warm, and I thought that would be really beautiful for summer as well. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this in the kitchen or in the dining room, but this one was a really good find. It ended up only costing me $2.99, so I really enjoy finding structural elements like this, especially in the woven tones, because they sort of warm things up and they create a little bit more of an organic feel when you're decorating in the warmer months. So on that same day when I went to Red, White, and Blue Thrift, I also came away with this basket, and I thought this one was really beautiful as well. It's a lighter tone. You can see it's more of like a blonde coloring, and definitely a woven, so really good for the summer season. But I bought this with the intention of using this outside for entertaining if we do like a dinner outside on the patio. So this one also was $2.99, and I love that it is a large rectangular shape. This would be good for serving drinks or appetizers to bring things in and out of the house when we're doing outdoor dining. So I really enjoy this one. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be decorating only with this one or if it's only gonna be used for functional, but that's the beauty of baskets and trays, is that they can do double duty, especially in the summer months. Surprise, surprise, I have one more woven item. This one was also $2.99. I picked this one up also at Red, White, and Blue Thrift in Tampa. And this one, actually, I am going to be using specifically for outdoor entertaining. I thought it would be fun to use this for plasticware and just sort of set this off on the side and keep everything organized outdoors. Love the wood tone, especially the deep dark coloring of it. And when I'm not using it for summer decor, I actually could use it for for drawer organization as well. So for $2.99, I could not pass up on this drawer organizer. So one of the things I really like to do in the warmer months is decorate with glass. I feel like using glass in the home during the warm weather months helps to sort of lighten everything up and make everything almost feel ethereal and airy. And so I really love using glass for pictures and for florals, but also for kitchen decor. And so when I came across this juicer, I thought this would make a beautiful decorative piece that also could be functional. This actually reminds me of my grandma. She used to make orange juice all the time using a manual juicer like this, and I thought this would be a really fun piece to have. I think I'm gonna actually end up using this in my kitchen windowsill in the evening, especially during the summer months. The sun is setting and that golden hour sunlight comes through my kitchen window, and I thought this would be a really beautiful look in the kitchen window as a functional piece, but also as a decorative element. I picked this one up at a local thrift store for $3, and I thought that was a really great deal for such a pretty item. So I came across this while I was thrifting at my local Jericho Road thrift store. It was 50 cents, and I love that it is brass, but I also thought it was really pretty with the floral design on it. I'm not sure if you can see that, but it looks like the floral design is etched into the little bud vase. This would be great for shelf styling. You guys know, well, some of you guys know, I have a peg shelf that I like to decorate in the spring and summer months, and little items like this are really nice little accent pieces just for filler, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to use this for the summer or the fall, but I'll be honest with you, it would go perfectly all year round because it has a very neutral look. And you guys, brass is timeless, right? These beautiful metals that you can transition year after year are a great find, especially when you can pick them up at such a great price at the thrift store. Now, a lot of you guys know that I love to use green in my house, especially during the summer months. It's one of my favorite colors. And recently, Daya Lane sent me some really beautiful green bar stools. And so that is the color that I want to use to accent everything else this summer. And when I came across this little creamer at the thrift store, I thought it was really cute. The coloring of the polka dots are like a deep green, almost like a forest green. This was $1.50, and it does have a little chip on the top, so I will probably not use this for sugar. I'll end up probably only using this for shelf styling, but I thought it was really cute and neutral, and this would look great in my hutch or over in my coffee bar. I could use it to hold spoons, lots of different uses for little ceramic pieces like this. So when you come across small items that are neutral like this, they're always a good find. So when it comes to the summer and the warm weather months, I love terracotta. There is something so warm and welcoming and inviting about the color of terracotta. And so when I came across this ginger jar, or maybe a garlic holder, I'm not exactly sure which, I thought this would be a great item for my kitchen, but also it would be really beautiful for shelf styling. It was $2, and I love the little handle detail on it. I thought it was super cute, and this is a neutral piece that actually can transition season to season. So for $2, I thought this was a great find. So as we come to the end of the thrifted items, I wanted to share with you one of my favorite purchases. This vase I picked up recently while I was shopping at Goodwill. It was $4.98, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I loved the texture on it. The color is so pretty, and I really like the shape. I thought this would be a great item for maybe some tall stems, something that maybe looks a little bit dramatic, either on my little table there in the back that you guys can see lighted, or even maybe on my dining table or island. This is a piece that I can use all throughout the summer and into the fall because it's definitely neutral and it's the right size. So this was a happy find. I love this for $4.98. And you guys, you cannot go wrong when thrifting. Be on the lookout for all sorts of vessels and jars. Now, I do have a few more items I want to share with you, but these are actually not thrifted. This next vessel that I picked up, I got from Walmart. This is from the Better Homes and Gardens line, and I love the natural and blonde color of this wood. So because I want to use green as an accent color, I plan to use really neutral creamy whites and beige colored florals, and I think that will look really beautiful in this sort of neutral and organic vessel. So a little bit of deviation from what I typically go for in the summer months, but because this is a neutral transitional piece, I grabbed it because I can use it even into the fall and winter. Now, a lot of you guys may already have seen that I I like to link my Amazon storefront in my description box. If you haven't had a chance to check that out, check out the description box below because you can find some really great items. Some of my favorite items are in there, things that I am currently using to decorate, and this is one of them. I thought this was an absolutely gorgeous tray. I love the scallop detail, and the neutral color of the wicker is absolutely gorgeous. The little handles make it really easy to move, especially if you're going to use this like maybe on your island or an area where you typically will sit to eat. It's nice to have the handles because then you can easily move this around without having to, you know, grab from the bottom and worry about dropping things. But I thought this was a really great find. So if you're looking for something like this for your summer decorating, go ahead and check out my Amazon storefront below. You'll find this and a whole bunch of other great decorative items in that storefront. Now, just keep in mind, I am an affiliate, so that means whenever you use my link to purchase through my Amazon storefront, I do make a small commission. So I really appreciate you guys supporting my channel. Thank you so much. And the final item that I wanted to share with you guys, I actually picked up at Dollar General. I know that Dollar General is not a place that typically people will think of for decorative items, but take a look at this propagation station. I thought it was really cute. The glass is perfect for that light and airy look that I'm going for, and you guys may know that I really love using brass and gold and warm metals, especially in the summer months. So I think I'll be using this on my windowsill. I think for $3 this is a perfect complement to that glass juicer that I had mentioned for the windowsill as well. It's a great piece for propagating some pothos plants or even just using as a bud vase. Well guys, that's gonna do it for the thrift haul. Thanks so much for coming along and shopping in store with me, as well as taking a look at some of these items that I picked up. I hope that you are having a wonderful week, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, check out that video right there. It's a great one.